This is Duke University.
Just in case you don't know who I am, I'm Ari Lewin. I'm on the faculty here, and I'm probably the oldest faculty member since I came here in 1974, and all the other guys already retired. So it is really a very special occasion for me to introduce our next speaker. It sort of reminded me that back in 1984-85, when I was going to China, I got introduced to a group of companies by the name of things like the Legend Group, the Stone Group, Inspur, Great Wall, I don't know, a bunch of other ones. And they all were sort of spun off from the various Chinese National Academy of Sciences or engineering groups with $25,000 to get their company started. And to my, I should say, I made a bad judgment because I bet on the Stone Group to be the next big PC company coming out of China. But they became a real estate company, and indeed, the Legend Group that I also knew at the time is the one that we're hosting today, but they now have a new name. It's called the Lenovo Group, a very successful company. One of the things that was sort of unusual that I learned subsequent that made the difference between the Legend Group and the other competitors is that Mr. Liu, one of the founders, I think there were 8 founders or 5 founders, I don't remember anymore, made the decision to compete in the PC business by licensing, were the first company in China to license the Microsoft Office Suite and operating system. That gave them the opportunity to then, for example, become distributors of international players like Dell and HP and so forth. So it's really very special for me to be able to introduce our next speaker. Company now operates out of Research Triangle Park and Cary, I guess, and has become a good friend of Duke University. And allow me to introduce Mr. Qingtong Zhou, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of the Legend Company. Mr. Xing.
Thank you, Professor. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So, thank you for the introduction of the Professor Lewin. So it's a very pleasure to be here. And actually, it's kind of, it's always like Professor Lewin, his bet is wrong, but we are happy to prove that he's wrong to betting like stone as the winner. We become the winner of the PC markets in China since 1997 and keep that strong since that. And today we are going to talk about how Lenovo grew from a Chinese company, a dominant Chinese player, to a global stage. And before I start, I would like to just get a little bit more understanding about how much you know about Lenovo. So what kind of company is Lenovo? Okay, anybody give me what's your understanding? Anyone? Want to try?
Electronic product, PC, phone, tablet, consumer electronics.
Okay. Actually, a very good answer, not 100% accurate. So we are a personal computing company. Electronics is probably where the personal computing is going into, but electronics a lot of time refer to TV, those other stuff. But there is one important product category you missed, which is server. So we are also selling servers. So very good, so that's the business we are in. We're in PC, in tablets, in smartphone, in server. Definitely some other smaller products we're also supplying to the markets. So let's give you a little bit about what is Lenovo. And at the end of the day, at the end of this presentation, I would also to test whether you agree with that or not. So Lenovo is a personal, we call ourselves a personal technology company. Although that's maybe need to expand a little bit in the future when we have the enterprise business bigger. We are a 34 billion company in terms of the revenue. We are operating in 160 countries. So that's pretty much a very high-level overview of Lenovo. But this may not still not very easy to get. So this probably is a better one. So we are a global 500 company. So we actually, our ranking in the global Fortune 500 is 329. And it's basically a size of a company we are listed here. If you can recognize some of the names, it's more familiar to you. So it's this kind of scale company that we are right now. Hopefully, we can surpass some of them soon, and we give you another list in the future. So where Lenovo start? So Lenovo actually start from 1984. If you count, it's exactly about 30 years ago. 3 decades ago, the company is found. And if you look at, I think I have a pretty picture about where the company is actually started. So this is basically a janitor room. Like they started in one of the, the previous office place. So they started from there with 25,000 original investments. And this company did, as I said, in 1997, about like 13 years later, it grew to the #1 in China. And since then, they keep the crown. Then one of the biggest events for Lenovo happened in 2000. Actually, it's announced in 2004, December of 2004, and the deal was closed in May of 2005. That is the IBM PC division acquisition. IBM, many of you is very familiar with, is the creator of PC. And that acquisition is the step that brings Lenovo from pretty much still a local business. At that time, when we do the acquisition, we are a company with almost 99% of our revenue is coming from China. And our size is somewhere around 2.3% market share of the global PC markets, and with a revenue somewhere around 3 billion. The company, the business we're acquiring from IBM at that time is around 5% market share of the total PC market, as well as it is a 10 billion business. So a smaller company acquire a bigger business. It is a very, very bold step. And many of the investors didn't believe that it's going to work because they foresee there will be a big stretch for the company to go global because we don't have any global experience. And they also expect there might be a cultural conflict, cultural fight, a result from that. But again, we're very happy that we proved that they are wrong. And so the company actually integrated very well and then quickly turn around the business. And we get a lot of good steps to help us ensure the integration. So we keep the prior IBM PCD's CEO, as the CEO of the whole company to help us do the smooth transition, make sure the customer is staying with us, make sure our employee is staying with us. And that has proved very successful. Then we bring in a new executive, a new CEO from Dell to help us to really change the overall expense structure of the company. And we drive a lot of cost saving, drive a lot of expense reduction, and that is also very successful. The company actually is doing quite well before the financial crisis. But it also have some drawbacks because when the CEO coming from Dell is very typically, like I would say, professional manager type of style. So they don't have the very long-term view as typically the owner of company would do. So that's some of those cuts actually hurt the long term of the company. So we cut some of the investments on the consumer because at that time the company is very reliant on the commercial business, and the consumer business is a large untapped market. But when you trying to get into that new areas, it's a growth engine, but you need to really invest. And at that time, the CEO is now, is reluctant to do all the investment because it's going to have some short-term profitability impact. And that's have some, it does have some consequence. So I will talk later. Okay, I skipped this beautiful chart. So, as I said, the company integrate and have a very good first couple of years, but some of the things is not working well when the real test come. The real test is the financial crisis happened in 2008, 2009, and at that time, the market coming down significantly than expected. If you can see some of the numbers, it's actually almost 10%, difference than was originally expected. And that's created a lot of issues because your investment, your expense, a plan is designed as with 10% growth, now it's come to 0 or even negative. Also, it's even more tough because our biggest home base is China. China is where we make most of our profit, and China business was impacted also very hugely during that time. Another profit pool for us is what we call the enterprise business. So maybe some of you know that the ThinkPad is a very good choice for enterprise or business users, and also a very strong brand and a very good margin for us. So that business also get the biggest impact because enterprise, whenever they have economic slowdown, they probably the first one to react very quickly in terms of cutting expense. So this couple of things drive our profitability down. In fact, we lose somewhere around 300 million, 280 something, in a quarter. That is the single biggest loss for Lenovo's history. And there's crisis really created this in this company. So what happens after that? And what makes the difference? At that time, our CEO, before, I just mentioned that we brought a Dell executive to be our CEO. So at that time, we changed the CEO. Our current CEO, Yang Yuanqing, we call him YY because it's very easy to remember. So YY came back as a CEO. And our ex-chairman, who is the founder, Mr. Liu, mentioned by Professor Lewin, so he came back as a chairman. So then CEO and the chairman lead the whole team to really develop the strategy to turn around the whole business. Here I'm going to talk about what kind of strategy the new team starts. The left side of the chart is basically the strategy. It's actually very, very simple. You just need to remember two words: protect and attack. So protect and attack means gave us a very good guidance on the strategic priorities of the whole company, and what's the short-term focus and what would be the long-term vision for each part of the business. So everyone in the company know exactly what his mission is. Let's go through that. On the protect side, you just see that China, I just mentioned, China is our profit pool. We have somewhere around 30%, market share in China. You cannot believe that the current market share we just get for the last quarter is somewhere around 38. So we probably cannot go too much further because that will become a monopoly issue. But we are dominate the China markets. So China market is our biggest profit pool. We have to expand our leadership position as well as improve the profitability. That's the first protect play. The second protect play, as I mentioned, is a commercial area. It's commercial customers. It's where our sync, or what we call the relationship model, is where the strength is. And this business is also contributing a lot of profits to the company, and we want them to return to profitability, and we want to maintain and grow our share there. So that part of the business, that team, they know exactly what is their priority, what they need to do. Then on the other hand, instead of driving everything just to churn out the short-term profit, we have the attack plan to make sure that our strategic goal is also realized. The strategic priority for the company is really to grow what we call the attack part. There's two parts on that. The first one is, I'll go from the emerging market first. So emerging markets is a lot of time it's like very much higher growth compared with the mature markets, and it's also where Lenovo have a very good capability. So Lenovo is running in China, which is one of the biggest emerging markets. Now Lenovo is going to introduce the so-called, we call transaction model, which works very, very effective in China, expand that transaction model into the rest of the emerging markets, and to help us grow, to help us get the market share and get the profitability. And to do that, we're going to leverage a lot of our consumer products, which in the past, the IBM acquired business only focused on the commercial products. And we need to develop a whole new portfolio of the consumer products as what we call the idea portfolio, and to introduce to those emerging markets, because emerging markets is really dominant by consumer segments. The second one is a transaction model globally, not just consumer, but also SMB is where we used to be weak at. We also need to leverage both the portfolio, idea and sync, and make sure that we have the right products that cater for that market. So all the team is assigned some tasks. But to do that, you have to align your organization. That's quickly after our CEO came back into the position, he announced a reorg of the company. So the company is reorg into the right side of the chart. So on the front end, we have something we call emerging market and mature markets. And we have two very big geographic organizations. They each have a very distinct market characteristics, and they will operate in a very different way. And on the back end, as I said, we have the Sync portfolio, which is coming from IBM. We also have the Idea portfolio, which is primarily going after the consumer segments, and it really is coming from the legacy Lenovo team. Then definitely all the other backend, like GSC, like services and other back office functions, all mapped to this organization structure. This alignment organization structure is very much consistent with what our strategy is put into place. And this allow every part of the company, every part of the, each one of the team know exactly what's their priority, what their mission is. And something outside that is how we organize, especially on the top leadership. So the way Mr. Yang, our CEO, did is that he created something called LEC. So LEC is a Lenovo Executive Committee. So that's basically the highest decision-making, organization in the company who basically decide the company, all the key decisions. This LEC is comprised about 4 executives from China, 4 executives from outside China, and then Mr. Yang. It's a very balanced, LEC, to make sure that we truly operate globally and with the right diversity. Second, this LEC meet very, very frequently. So they actually meet every month. For a global company like this size, with people all scattered around the world, it's very, very big investment of their time. So now we actually have 8 times face-to-face meeting, 4 times video call meeting, and we'll continue using that BMS to drive the whole company. That's exactly why the execution alignments of the whole company is very, very strong. So it's very different from the prior CEO who used to operate in a very, I would say, put it this way, like a silo way. So the way he decided, he will only, if there's one issue, then he will basically just talk with the person who he think is the one related to that issue the most, then we'll just basically make the decision without really going out to all the senior executives to ensure the alignments. So this new LEC BMS actually help a lot, both in terms of strategy formulation as well as to drive the execution, because everybody is part of the decision making. This makes them own what is decided. And when they was discussing, to make the decisions, they will bring in many factors. They will be very comprehensive when they make the decision. So they will make a better decision rather than rely on one particular guy and the CEO, on their own knowledge. So this LEC, I would say, to some extent, is one of our very, very unique BMS that we're running the company. And if you expand that one to a bigger leadership team, so we have something called Global Leadership Team, GLT, that is comprised somewhere around 90 to 100 people, executive of the company. That how many nationalities we have from that GLT?
14, 15.
Yes, it's 14, 15 different nationalities coming, from this number of group of executives. So truly, there's a very globalized company, both from the way, the talents, the leadership is comprised of, and the way we make decisions. Okay? Definitely, strategy is going to dictate how you do your M&A. Now we have, since we have the right strategy, and also our M&A activity also resume. And then there's actually many acquisitions we have done since 2009. The first one happened is we bought by Lenovo Mobile. It's also a classic example because Lenovo Mobile is the handset business, it's our mobile phone business. At that time, the prior CEO, he decided to sell the mobile out because that company is losing money. And he wanted to cut the loss, and he decided to sell that one out. And in our company, we are very much following the corporate governance. So CEO is the final decision maker. You can change the CEO, but you cannot jump into his seat to make decision for him. So at that time, our current CEO, he is still the chairman. He cannot really stop that. Then the ex-chairman Liu, he actually arranged some kind of deal to have one of his investment company to buy this company from Lenovo. And then right after YY, he came back into the CEO position, he bought back this company. So So that's very important. It actually set up the foundation for, for our mobile business group. Many of you may not know that Lenovo's mobile phone business, smartphone business. So we actually is the number 2 in China, behind Samsung, and we are globally number 5, number 4, right? Wow, good. So we are globally number 4 in terms of the unit shipments. So that is all starting from here. So the first acquisition he did is to buy something sold by the prior CEO due to the short-term profitability pressure. The other thing coming along, so we bought a company, we bought a NEC, which is one of the market leader in Japan markets. Then this definitely helped us strengthen our position in Japan, which is a very unique market. You need some kind of localized team, localized business operation model to be successful there. We also bought Median, which is also one of the biggest PC market in Germany. We have a joint venture with EMC. We also have a very good partnership with EMC on the storage, on some server kind of business. And CCE is a local player in Brazil. And now with CCE and Lenovo combined, we actually is the number 1 in Brazil as well. Stoneware is a software company that primarily focusing on personal cloud. So we bought them to help us to build the personal cloud capabilities. So you can see that we have a lot of M&A activities. And why all of this M&A activity is successful? One of the biggest confidence of the stock markets on us is that we have no failed M&A, although we have so many activities has done in the past. That's a very, very pressure record. That's why actually our price earning ratio is actually pretty good compared with our other PC peers. And one of the biggest reasons is really the maturity of this company, in terms of their M&A, the deal capability as well as the post-merger management capabilities. So it's very important that for us, it is the using the M&A activities to help the company to drive and accelerate the growth. So that's why you see all these activities is helping the company going to where we are now. So where we are now, so this is the market share chart, and the red line is Lenovo. So we're number 1 in PC. We have been number 1 for 3 quarters, and also for the full calendar year of 2013. Our latest market share is 18.5. We enlarged the lead against the next one, who used to be the number 1, which is HP. And our success is not just PC, but also applied to all the PC Plus areas. PC Plus, what we referring to is the total markets we call the smart connected device, including PC, tablets, and smartphone. So we're number 3 in smartphone markets behind Samsung and Apple. We're number 2 if you just combine PC and tablets. And our next milestone is to become number 1 in PC plus tablet market. Definitely, I just mentioned about we are number 1 in PC market shares. Then there will be further acquisitions to help us further set up the foundation and accelerate our PC Plus transformation. So the PC Plus transformation is really turning us from primarily a PC company into a company owning the whole, like we call smart connected device or PC Plus device markets. Right now, our contribution from PC Plus is somewhere around 15%, 15, and we are anticipating to push that one to 30% over the couple of years, and even to like half of our revenue in the future. Then these two acquisitions, first one IBM x86 server, next one Motorola. You heard a lot about this recently. So this two acquisitions definitely is it's a very, very big step for us to continue our PC plus transformation. This is definitely another good example about how M&A follows through the strategy. We still have to complete the deal, so it's still in the regulatory approval process, and so there's probably not much I can talk to you about this acquisition. But what I want to tell you is that this is fit very much into our strategy, and we are very confident that our M&A activity help us choose the best deal. As well, we have a very strong PMM, post-merger management capability to help us to deliver the value. Okay, so our strategy also evolved. So it's not just protect and attack, and the protect attack probably the framework stay, but the content change and evolve when the business is at a different stage. So now the new protect is basically, if you looking at the chart, the protect part is the whole PC markets. Because you know that PC market overall has been like very slow growth or even shrinking. So we have the whole PC, to be in the protect mode, and then we have the whole PC plus, which is primarily smartphone and tablet, which is for mobility, and then the enterprise system, which is the primary server and some other affiliate products for the attack. So this is our new attack. With the acquisition completed, definitely we need to refresh another version for this for next year. So this is a version we used for the current fiscal year, which is going to finish March 31st of 2014. Okay, quickly some takeaways. So I think one of the key successful factors for Lenovo is strategy. So we have a very clear and a very simple strategy. So it's both is very important. Clear means that it must be very, very much like avoid any confusions. But people will say, if you say people want to do A and B, they will get confused. You just tell them, hey, you do A, he do B. He get it very easily. That's what's the protect and attack place here. And definitely ease of understanding, make sure you use simple words. We don't like complicated words. We want to use the plain language in our strategy. And make sure that everybody understand that also simplicize, concise, and lead to the make sure that it can cascade down from top to the bottom without a lot of discounts in the comprehension. Then, good strategy is not enough. Definitely strong execution. I just mentioned that Lenovo, the execution capability is starting from LEC. From that level, this company is an execution, excellence company, and drive all through the company. And we also have a so-called our Lenovo ownership culture. So it's basically we do what we say, we own what we do. So this kind of Lenovo culture is like embedded in everybody's man, become very much a DNA of a Lenovo man. Then I talk a lot about M&A. So M&A is very important that you have to fit into the strategy. And sometimes it's opportunistic, so you cannot decide when the opportunity comes. But when the opportunity comes, you take it because you are well planned, as well you have a very good deal team. Then you also have a very strong confidence because your post management, all the capability you do on the integration is very strong that you are sure that you can deliver the value. So, and this thing will have a virtual cycle to reinforce. Okay, so the last chart. So what Lenovo is, I hope when you walk away, you can have this one in your mind. Lenovo is a new global leader coming from emerging markets, specifically coming from China. It's a very new type of global company that is well positioned in a very competitive, but also very big and very good growth markets. And this company have the unique culture, have a very diversified leadership, a very strong execution capability, and a very strong strategy development capability to bring the company to the next success. That's all I have today. And thank you very much for listening to me, and also welcome any questions. Thank you.
Mr. Zhou, thank you very much for your time today. I just have one question. I'm over here.
Oh, yeah.
I just have one question regarding the recent announcement of the Motorola acquisition. It seems that Motorola has about $1 billion in net operating losses right now, and which translates to like a 30% loss in operating margins. Which it seems that your goal is to turn this around in the next 3 to 4 quarters, according to various news sources. So I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to clarify with you today. After the acquisition, how are you going to achieve this type of turnaround? Is it just going to be mainly focused on the reduction of the operating expenditures?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and definitely we haven't completed the sales, the deal, right? There's really. We have to wait for the regulatory approvals, until we say Motorola is part of our business. But at the high level, Motorola's business, they are losing a lot in Google when it's owned by Google. Part of the reason is because the way Google operates that. So Google is never really focusing on bottom line. So they don't care about the loss made by Motorola because they have such a big profit. So if you look at the history of Motorola's financials, they actually lose less when they are not owned by Google. They lose more because the Google cut a lot of portfolios, and they also, their focus is trying to create the best Android phone, rather than, cutting the operational loss. So that's not their focus. Definitely, when we take a look at the company, we have identified a lot of areas that we will get synergies. We have found that there's a lot of good opportunity in the procurement cost. There's opportunities in expand the product portfolio. Right now, Moto only have 2 products basically. We're going to bring more exciting products, to Motorola, and there's also opportunity to, further, optimize the expense, especially in some of the R&D areas. There are also opportunity to introduce back Moto into China, which is still a very well-known, very home brand. They have quit China, probably 3 to 4 years ago, but many people still remember this name. In some refreshments, but it's a very good opportunity if we bring them back. So we haven't. I think we haven't say a decisive timeline for the same, but definitely our priority is to, from day one, to drive the synergies and to really drive all the turnaround as soon as possible. I think what I would say that based on what we have done in the past, hopefully we can prove that many of the concerns is wrong again. Because when we have the IBM PC deal, that business also lose around 300 million, less than now, right? Less than Motorola. They also lose like 300 million, a profit a year, which is basically the profit Lenovo has prior to the acquisition. So they basically lose everything we have, right? But we have been successfully integrate the business and bring the business to a healthy level very quickly, and then bring them to an industry leader. This we will do the same thing again. A lot of challenge, a lot of hard work, but we are very confident on the company. This is the right strategy for the company. And this we will use our execution capability to deliver that again. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Zhou. Thanks for the insight. I'm just wondering one thing. After the two big acquisitions recently, Lenovo undergo another round of reorganization. It's like less than a year before the last reorganization. I guess it could be because of the new recognition in the new business. Is there pros and cons, and what's the cost in between this kind of short reorganization for the business?
Okay, I think definitely, as I said, our organization goal align with our business strategy, right? So you see that quickly after we have the new strategy, like in 2009, 2010, our first Protect and Tech, we have a new organization announced and to help us to drive the strategy. I would say in our industry, change probably is constant. And the company is very, I wouldn't say get used to, they will never be surprised of organization change. So we actually have a saying that it's every year you will be some change, and every 3 years there will be a huge change. So this time, this change is definitely associated with the two coming acquisitions as well. It's also aligned with our acceleration of the PC Plus transformation. So I wouldn't say how frequent, what's the frequency of the organization change is a concern. It's really whether your strategy is consistent with your organization. And you have to have the right organization to help you to deliver that strategy. If your strategy needs that, you just have to change that. And many of our colleagues is indeed actually very, I would say they get used to that more and more, and they actually feel good, when our company have the right organization to drive the result. Thank you. There's one more question. Okay, that's the last question.
Okay, thank you for the chance. We know that the Moto deal will bring more than 2,000 patents from Lex model to Lenovo. And my question would be, what is a strategy for innovation in the existing ecosystem of a smartphone and the future ecosystem of a smartphone for the Lenovo to achieve the next success in the MIDH the business?
Good.
Thanks.
So if you read some of our news, we actually created a new organization called Ecosystem and the Cloud Service. So that's the fourth business group. Besides, we have PC, we have mobility, we have enterprise. So definitely, we are creating this group because we want to create some business around that. Their first mission is still to support our device sales because we know that in the future, it's not just the hardware, it's the whole user experience. The software, the application, the service around the hardware is to define the user experience, and that is more and more valuable and important for us to get people to love our device. So their first mission is really not to generate a lot of revenues from a service per se, but to help the device sales. And then definitely there will be opportunity for them to build this business into a standalone revenue contribution, profit contribution. We see good opportunity there, especially in China. So there will be some plans announced around that. Right now, a lot of focus is on the mobility and the enterprise, the two recent acquisitions. There are this ecosystem and cloud service is definitely one of our future growth area as well. And so innovation is always a big thing for Lenovo. And then Lenovo has been, investing in innovation and bring the new innovative product into the markets. Probably not at the level of breakthrough innovation yet, but we are doing more and more of that. It's one of the things we actually bring to people today is one of our innovative products. It's coming. It's called the Yoga tablets. So we have some very good innovative products. The Yoga tablet is what we call a multi-mode product. So like yoga, you just hold. Let's have a multi-mode usage model. You can hold, you can stand, you can tend, and all of those is suitable for different usage case. And one of you will get the luck to use this yoga tablet. Two of you, that's even good. And so you can try it and definitely tell us how do you think. Thank you.